Hello, host Eric here to discuss tonight or demonstrate more accurately a concept known as honest quantity that I'd like to try this evening, which is to say I'm going to try to produce as many 5-minute videos as I can right now, each of which is going to cover a subject that I pull from my handy dandy notebook here that I write stuff in sometimes, and we'll see how it goes. I hope to make good videos about specific subjects that aren't filled with this. Yeah. Oh well, a little bit of it can't be helped. Now, let's move forward. Language and space get along well. That's what it says right here. Time and language are natural enemies. Language and space get along well. What do I mean by that? Well, I would say that time and language are natural enemies because whatever language attempts to pin down in terms of a description of it is going to be subject to assault because the language is static. The language doesn't change. It is, by definition, a time object. It is defined, has boundaries. It is something specific, an entity, a concept, or whatever. And as a consequence, because individuals can use words to get around whatever static walls some other words put up, it makes sense that as time passes, the truth of a statement and or the effectiveness of an argument is going to be changed over time, which segues naturally into argumentation, where I'm not going to go on this video, but let's go to the next part of this, which is language and space get along well. Why? And then it says here, the name is to dine? What in that world does that say? The capacity to name is the capacity to circumvent duration. Well, that's a really good thought. The capacity to name is the capacity to circumvent duration. Think about it. If I have to explain a concept to you, such as the idea of naming a set of concepts and then being able to refer to that set of concepts with that name in the future, right, which is what I'm talking about here. If that had a name such as meaning packaging or meaning packing or whatever you want to call it, where you can refer to it and everybody understands what it means, then it's a lot easier. For example, I had to generate the word time object, and I use it all the time, and I'm hopeful that people start to understand what it means, and that in some either people start using that as well, or that they at least start to think about the concept, which is we need a word for a distinct time object that's not a space object, but that has distinct boundaries and is a distinct entity in the same way that Jingle Bells is a distinct entity, even though it's not physical. We all know what it is. We can all sing it. If you hear it, you'll recognize it. We all will agree that's what it is. Just because you can't bang your knee into it doesn't mean it's not a real thing. It's not a real object. It doesn't have real significance or real permanence. So the point then on that is specifically that time and language are natural enemies, but language and space get along well, because with a space object you can describe it, and provided no energy is directed at that space object does not change. If I say let's describe some famous historical artifact like the Declaration of Independence. Well, now obviously it's an old document, it's on a piece of paper, it's very fragile, and yet we still have it in pieces of it at least, and it's being preserved. We preserve it with the knowledge that if we successfully preserve it, by definition, it is what? It is no longer experiencing the entropic decay of the environment exercising force against it, which is what the environment does continually, unless arrested in that process by some other artificial process, such as preserving it, laminating it. Just take that old Declaration of Independence, just laminate it, right? Wouldn't that be a lot easier than all these fancy things they're doing? Anyway, that's going to be about it for this 5-minute video. I've been host Eric. I hope you enjoyed this one. We'll see. I'm going to put it up and see how they go.